for a better way, but I gotta let go. Let God deal with it. At the same time, try to let you know that I'm still here for you, even when my knees get weak and I can't hold up my end, baby. Know that I'm working on relationship goals.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Welcome in again to another riveting episode of Hollywood and K, for better or worse.
Yes. Today we're gonna talk about some more things.
Well,
Our last episode we talked about how we met and ended up together, so we're kind of gonna go more into depth.
Some of the challenges.
Yeah, we're gonna go more in depth into the challenges we faced starting our relationship.
We want to start with your family challenges, remember? Because we had kind of like ended on that. And you said we would expand on that.
Yeah. Hold on. I want to open this up.
Oh, yeah, I want to be a vampire. She wants more light. Let there be light.
We look so much better now. We look woke. We look woke. Okay. So, in the beginning, I don't even remember when I told, like, my mom.
I know in the beginning I met your sister, Lexi, and your best friend, Romney, and they welcomed me with open arms.
Oh, yeah, they loved them.
Like, they used to always come up there and visit.
And my sister, she is autistic. So she doesn't take kindly to people she doesn't know, but like she really took to Terrence from the beginning. And she's always had like a good read on people. I don't know if that's just like her superpower or what, but she's loved him from jump.
Like most people.
Ew. So, but I definitely don't remember when I told my mom. I just remember her not really being too okay with it, because like we started getting into details of.
What do you mean too okay? She was still pushing the ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, right.
She was doing everything she could.
Stop. She wanted me to stay with my ex, who was in the military, but he was physically and mentally abusive towards me. So it was something I didn't want, which made it easier for me to go to him because he showed me that he wouldn't do that to me. But nobody in my family believed me about him. So we started getting into details of like mine and his age difference, and it kind of really pushed my mom the wrong way because him and my mom are only
nope.
4 years apart. So, and me and him are 13 years apart.
Yeah.
So, it was tough navigating that with him being closer in age with my parents than me. And that was a challenge all in itself. But as time grew on, my mom saw like the type of father he was, because at this point, you know, I'm pregnant. So, she saw what kind of dad he was, and like that was something I didn't have growing up. So she admired that, and she's always loved that characteristic about him. Like, he is a very present father in his kids' lives, whether he's with their mom or not. So my mom had a lot of respect for him for that, and she grew to love him eventually. And then a bunch of turmoil happened because I felt like I could confide in my mom with about everything, and it wasn't really a safe place, judgment-free zone. It was like I would tell her, and I mean, like anybody, that's like if your kids come to you and say somebody's been messing with them and bothering them and hurting them, you're kind of going to feel kind of ill-willed toward that person.
I will say this. First of all, like, you should be able to tell your parents everything, but it should be a line, because your parents aren't your friend. Your parents are your parents. Your parents are supposed to protect you. So when you feel like, and another thing, her mom has, been very like much like a control freak. So it's like, she wants things her way. So if Kayla wasn't doing things her way or what she wanted, then that was always going to cause problems. And by her going to her and telling her like every detail of our relationship, and that really didn't help things, because you were the type of person that would always tell what the other person is doing and not what she's doing. So it's pretty much painting me or whoever she's talking about as the villain completely, you know what I'm saying? And she's the innocent victim in the situation. And when you don't tell, like with me, I try to tell like the whole story, like even the stuff I do wrong, to people. So I don't try to sugarcoat things, so I mean, I'm not saying I'm better at telling things than anybody else, but I just know me personally, like, I don't try to hide the things that I do wrong, because I know nobody's perfect. So, and I guess that comes with the people that I've known throughout my life. Like, I know they're going to be there for me regardless. So I don't have to hide things that I've done wrong for me to feel like they're still going to support me. And I think that's part of how she grew up. She didn't want to disappoint anybody, or she always felt she was going to be in trouble. So maybe that kind of had you feeling that you would just tell, like, you didn't want to make yourself look bad. So you always told what other people did, because you didn't want the judgment from other people. So it caused a lot of problems, and I would always be like, why are you telling your mama this? Why? Because everything she told, they used against her, because when we would make up, now they're coming down on her, be like, why are you getting back with him, or why are you making up with him? And it's just like, it became like this big, huge saga, like, for years. And it just got to the point where everybody would be like, y'all just gonna make up. Y'all just gonna make up. Y'all just gonna make up. So, but until we got to that point, it was just like a lot of drama. And I'm older. You see what the drama has done to me. But I mean, I'm not blame free, because I chose to be in it with a younger person, and one of my friends had told,
still had a lot of growing to do.
Yeah, and I still had growing to do. And one of my friends had told me, she was like, actually it was Joy and Tim, so it was another couple, married couple. They told me, look, you love her, she's younger than you, you've been there before, you made those mistakes. You gotta, if you are going to commit to her, then you gotta commit knowing that she's gonna make mistakes, a lot of mistakes. And if you can't handle that, then you need to walk away. But if you are committed to her, then you're gonna have to give her like some leeway to make those mistakes, knowing that you're gonna be able to forgive her. So I had to for years just have I don't even know how to say, like give you, like, I don't want to say room to hang yourself. I don't want to say that, but I had to give you like rope to, to make mistakes, knowing that I would be able to, forgive you. And when you forgive somebody, like, you don't just forgive them and then just wait for your time to use it against them. You got to actually forgive that person and try to move on, because when you hold on to things like that, that's just going to keep the anger and resentment inside of you, and then make you do things that maybe you wouldn't do normally or shouldn't do normally, so
See, like another thing was like one of our biggest issues was in the beginning, like he very much knew I was a party animal. Like I was out all the time, every night, all night. If there was a bar and it was open, I was at it. If it was a club and it was open, I was at it. And I was at work the next morning. Like he knew that from the beginning, before we even started a relationship. But once we got official, I felt like he pulled back from the party scene, and he was the one staying at home, and I was going to the clubs and going to concerts and after parties and stuff, and he was coming to pick me up. And it's because he didn't want to be in that scene anymore. Like it was okay in the beginning when we were just hanging out, being friends or whatever, but once he wanted me to be his, he wanted me to just kind of change real quick and get out of that. But mind you, I'm 21. Like, I'm just now entering this scene for real legally. You know, I've been out before, but we ain't gonna. So, but, like, I'm legally able to, like, spread my wings and fly, in a sense. And he was trying to, like, cage me. I felt like he was trying to cage me, which furthermore made me wow out. And that was a lot of rift in our relationship in the beginning, because he did not like that. And it was confusing to me, because I was like, well, before we were really a thing, like, you were okay with it. You were coming out with me. Like, I'd beg him to come out with me, and he's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to.
That much.
No, but he went out occasionally.
And I would say this in the beginning, like,
he was trying to woo me.
No, it won't even just woo you. We've been through this. Like, in the beginning, I didn't think we were going to actually last, like, you know, be a long-term relationship. Like, he
thought I was something fun.
We have this joke. Me and my best friend have this joke to this day. Like, the first time he hung out with us, he picked us up, and we went to this UFC fight night at a friend's house. And we were in the car, and, you know, I was drinking or whatever, and I was just wild out. He was driving. And I was joking around, messing with her, because she said something. And I was like, it's 6 months from now when you're long gone. And she was like, what? I was like, in 6 months from now when you're long gone, I'm still going to be happy. And, you know, I was just going on. It became a joke. So, like, 6 months later, she was like, I'm still here 6 months later. And, you know, like, years later, she'd be like, it's 5 years in. That's much longer than your 6 months that you said, you know. So it became a joke. But I would say, like, in the beginning, like, she said I hung out a lot. Like, occasionally I hung out, you know what I'm saying? Because I've never been.
He definitely hung out with his friends.
Yeah, but my Pizza Hut friends. But, I mean, we weren't partying and stuff like that. We would go hang out at bars sometimes after work, or, you know, we would
went to this one
we would get
bar.
together.
Bailey's,
yeah, we shut it
down that night. Like, that was the last time.
Yeah, when we went home and we woke up the next morning, like, because one of my friends there, we had a birthday party for him there that night. Well, I ain't gonna say birthday party, but we celebrated his birthday that night, and then we woke up the next morning and the place was shut down. We was like, damn, we shut the bitch down. But yeah, I would hang out with them, and it wouldn't be, you know, like, we wouldn't be late hanging out all the time, like, you know, going to a club and stuff like that. After just parties. But I wasn't a big, you know, like, party person. Like, I'll go to a bar, but clubs, nah, because I ain't the one to be out there dancing and stuff like that. So I never really saw the, you know, purpose of hanging out in clubs and stuff. So bars would be more. Bars would be more of my swing, you know what I'm saying? So I would hang out some, but I didn't hang out that much, but I did hang out with her. And I hung out with her thinking that this was just something fun to do right now, and I didn't think me and her would last. So then when me and her did kind of get serious, then I started to pull away more from that bar scene and, you know, hanging out different places like that, because that's not what I wanted to do. And this is the person that I'm trying to have a relationship with. Then, yeah, I don't want you out in the club all the time, you know, shaking your hips and, you know, whatever else you out there doing.
But honestly, the party scene was very short-lived, because we met in July. That's what, well, yeah, and then we officially started dating August. Like, everything happened so quick.
It did.
And then December, we ended up being engaged. And then January, I found out I was pregnant. So
Crazy timeline.
it's crazy. So, I mean, the party scene was only lived but so long because we instantly went into, like, and I think that's when he realized, like, maybe she isn't going to go anywhere because, like, we were pregnant, but then that's when everything felt like it hit the fan. I was hormonal. Let's talk about those challenges, all right? I was hormonal. I was confused. We ended up, when I was about 3 months pregnant, around his birthday in March, we ended up going to Florida, where well, let's rewind. So before, when we first started getting together, we told you all on the last episode that she ended up packing up the kids and leaving pretty much in the middle of the night. She ended up going
to
Florida.
I woke up one morning and somebody had messaged me and was like, "Hey, Jackie moved to Florida," and I was like, "What?" So I'm looking and I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" And I find out that she left early that morning, took the kids and moved to Florida. Didn't let me know anything. Just took them and left. Like, she didn't have custody of them. You know,
she wouldn't tell us what part she was in, her address, where she was. We literally we had to call Scooby-Doo because we were literally Inspector Gadget out there. We were looking for every clue that we could.
Any more cartoons you want to name?
I mean, I can name them all. We was all of them in one. We were looking for any clue we could to figure out where she took the kids. And finally, we nailed it down to a city. Once we found out the city,
I just drove down there. I was like, I'm going down there.
We literally got in the car on his birthday because it was 6 months later, about 6 months later when we found out. And we got in the car and we said, we're just going to go to the city and just see what we see.
Yeah, because at the time,
but we had an inkling of what street she lived on, I think.
Yeah.
Because of something. I don't remember.
She stole my identity. She, like, used my identity for something. And
they sent
an address that she had stayed at. So
we went there.
Mm-hmm.
We literally followed every clue we could. And then I guess when we got there, we called her and we're like, hey, we're at such and such address.
I want to see my kids.
He wants to see his kids. Well, I didn't because at this point...
12 and a half hours. I was like...
We weren't talking.
Without even knowing if I was going to see my kids or not. I drove 12 and a half hours. And
in hopes to see them.
Yeah, hopes that she would answer the phone when I called and... agree for me to see him or whatever.
And she agreed, but she found out
she was like, "You're here?"
And
I was like, "Yes."
Wait, then she found out I was there, and things kind of like was weird because I think at this time she knew I was pregnant. I think everybody did. I was like 3 months, and so we were there, and she agreed. They had this place called, what was it? Pier Park?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. It had like a little roller coaster area, and then there was a Dave and Buster's, and it was a lot for them to do. They were running around. Mind you, it's hot as hell in Florida at this time in March. I'm sitting in our car, sweating bullets, pregnant, growing a life inside of me, and he's out playing family with his ex-wife because I'm not allowed to go. I had to sit in the car for hours. So mind you, I'm on the phone. I'm just getting riled up. I'm getting angry.
Well, you had to sit in the car because you didn't know how to act.
I'm hormonal.
You got there, you didn't know how to act. So.
I did know how to act. She automatically told me I couldn't go.
Well, then you acted up after that. So
yeah, I acted up after that because I sat in the car for 6 hours.
It wasn't 6 hours.
In the heat. Yes, it was.
It wasn't no 6 hours.
It was forever.
Yeah, forever.
It was like 4 to 6 hours. It was forever.
Now it's 4 to 6 hours.
It felt like 24 hours if you ask me.
Jack Bauer, 24.
So.
It was like a couple hours.
It was too long. He was playing family, riding roller coasters, ended up at Dave and Buster's. Like, they're all just having a great time. And I'm sitting in the car, pissed. No. Like, fuming. Ladies, you know when you're pregnant and you can't control them hormones, but then your brain starts racing and it's uncontrollable? I had very, 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 very dark thoughts that day. So then finally, family day comes to an end, and I'm sitting in the car. I'm losing my shit at this point. I'm pissed. I'm ready to fuck some shit up. So I get behind the wheel of my car, and I try to run this bitch over.
And hit me.
And hit him because he jumped in front of it. Like, first off, I'm hormonal as fuck.
Hormone doesn't give you the right for vehicular manslaughter.
I wasn't gonna kill her. I was just gonna bump her. So it was a lot. Like,
Judge, I was hot.
So
I
after
was
that,
hormonal.
so after that, tensions were high. People were pissed. I was mad. I took the car and I left. I drove from western, the panhandle of Florida, all the way to the east coast of Florida to go spend a couple days with my brother and sister that I'd never met in person before. And I left his ass with her. So now they're really playing family because Kayla done drove across the state of Florida to go visit her family. And you can talk about what happened.
You mean I can talk about what happened?
You were there. I wasn't.
Well,
And then I'll pick back up when I came back.
you pick up when you came back.
Yeah. So what happened while I was MIA across Florida by myself?
Well, first of all, she broke up with me and left. So
Why?
again, don't just tell a story and leave certain parts out. Try to make
I did
yourself
not break up
look
with
good.
you.
She broke up with me, took the car that we got together. You know what I'm saying? With the money that I had made. Her car. She was. All right. Well, yeah. So she broke up with me, hit me with a car, and then left. And at this point, like, I don't know if she's coming back or not because it's 6 months in, and I don't know if. Well, a little more than 6. It was about 6 months. A little more than 6 months into our relationship, but I didn't know her like that to know if she make these rash decisions like that, and she was actually gonna come back and us work things out. So I'm just like, well, she's gone. Jace, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Cover up. It's your little bare chest. Ex-wife, tried to rekindle things and try to work things out because that was her whole purpose of moving to Florida in the first place. She wanted me to get away from her, so she thought that moving to Florida I would leave and just follow them down there and make up with her and be a family again. So but she saw this as an opportunity and was like, yeah, I'm gonna get them back. So we did a couple things and
Water under the bridge.
It's water under the bridge, and more so the only reason why I did anything, or she broke up with me, and I also knew that before this whole experience, she had done something with her ex, the deployed dude. So I was just like, well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I was just like, all right, whatever. So the next day, she's calling me. Trying to work things out, and I'm like, well, you just left, like, I don't know what the heck you're doing, so she ended up coming back like the next day after that, and we ended up coming back to Virginia. We drove back to Virginia. When I say this was,
No, I came back ready to fuck some shit up some more.
But we ended up just leaving and going back to Virginia, and she's pissed at me because I told her what happened, and then I'm like, well, at this point, I knew she had done something with her ex, but she had never admitted to it. So she finally admitted to it on the way back. And when I say that 12-hour car ride was the most quietest, longest car ride.
I think I went through 2 packs of cigarettes in that 12 hours.
Like that jank was just, I couldn't wait for that drive to be over. But yeah, so we get back and we work things out, and you know, it was rough. Because again, like I said, I didn't know her like that to know that she kind of does make haste decisions like that, emotional decisions like that.
I was pregnant.
I mean, but even not being pregnant, you still...
No, I think about some things now.
Now, 10 years in. But when we talking about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you still is making emotional decisions. So,
I'm a woman. I'm very emotional.
Yeah, but you're a little more than...
Mature.
Yes, let's just yeah, we're not gonna keep beating a dead horse. So that was some of the challenges when we first started out. When I say we've been through a lot, so when people talk to us about their relationships, it's really cool because we can really relate. We're not like those people who have had a perfect relationship and then trying to give advice on stuff that we haven't even experienced ourselves. So we've met a lot of people, and like they love our dynamic, how we are with each other. But what they don't understand is it took years for us to get to where we are. And even now, we still been learning things about each other. Like I would say, last weekend, you know, I learned some things about her that I didn't know, and you know,
I think it was the weekend before last, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but looking back on it, it's like, oh, okay, this kind of makes sense now. Why, you know, you do this or do that, and you know, it's opened my eyes to be more patient and more understanding in certain situations with her. And I think, like going forward now, like I feel the best that I've ever felt about our marriage, our relationship, because we have just been like more like, I guess just say open with some of the things that we feel.
Our communication, I think now, is like top tier than it was before. Like we couldn't really get 2 words out before the other is screaming and hollering and wanting to fuss, and I'm the other.
Yeah,
screaming
I was
and
gonna
hollering.
say screaming and hollering. That's you.
I'm the other.
That's you.
Because I mean, it took him time to learn like his approach to me on how to like say things, because that goes back to how when I grew up, like it was, I don't really know how to explain it, but like coming up, it was just like I was always fussed at and yelled at about stuff, whether it was my fault or not. So, like, how he comes at me with that energy, I automatically throw up guard, and now I'm ready to go to battle. Like, you're not going to fuss at me and all that. Like, I don't like that energy.
But that's the crazy thing, because, like, that was always her excuse, saying how I come at her. But in reality, it didn't matter how I came at her. I could talk to her just like this with an issue that I have or a problem that I have, and I would still get the same response. So it was more so about her feeling attacked for me saying anything that I didn't like or I want to see improvement or whatever. So it had nothing to do with me and my approach. It was all about how she grew up, and that was being projected onto me. So that's something we had to learn how to deal with her, because they ain't got nothing to do with me. But, you know, like, again, things are a lot better than what they used to be. But I appreciate her. I do. I love her. So, you know, this is part of this podcast. It's like y'all going on this journey with us, because we're not done with our journey. You know, we still are improving. We're still learning, and we're still trying to get better. So that's why it's for better or worse. We've had a lot of worse, but we've had a lot of better too. So we just want to keep that better going and want that to far outweigh the worst. So.
Yeah. So let's get back to our story. So when we came back from Florida, from visiting the kids, and we were working on our relationship.
Yeah, me playing family.
Things weren't as smooth moving forward throughout my pregnancy. He told you I messed with my ex at some point. Well, come to find out, the time I got pregnant was around the time frame of me and him messing around and then me and him being together. So I was very much back and forth on the relationship I wanted. Even though I knew this guy was abusive, he was more financially stable. Because now I'm thinking about my kid, you know, in the future. But then I was thinking about what my heart truly wanted, which was Terrence, because...
Who? Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Don't
Because...
say my name, homie.
You said mine.
K.
You said Kayla.
Hey! K.
And then... and then, it was just... I wanted to follow... It was either follow my heart or follow what I knew would be security financially. And, like, my heart knew it wanted Hollywood. And then... But... me being young and dumb, I also wanted to be financially stable.
And also her...
And I had a lot of influence from my family. Especially my mom.
Especially her mom.
So it was just, I was very confused on like what to do. So I had an apartment with dude, ex, and I had a house with him. Like both of them in my name with them. So it was like I was in a back and forth. So every time me and him got in a fight, I would call up dude and he would give me his truck and I would pack up the car with all of my our baby stuff.
And most of the time when we get in an argument, I ain't even start. She would start the argument so she could go over there. It's like, this shit.
And I didn't sleep with him. Well, I slept in the same bed as him, but we slept with a pillow between us because like even though I was over there, I wasn't like comfortable like being intimate with him. Like I wasn't intimate with him since like December. So it's been a long time, mind you. I'm like getting far along in my pregnancy, like, and I'm just back and forth all the time. So the only one I'm sleeping with really is him. And I was just sharing a bed with him with pillows in between us. And not once did we do anything sexual while I was pregnant, no. But I was back and forth, like, I mean, I probably did that game well up until I was, like, close to the end.
Yeah, I even got a video of her,
leaving in his truck.
Yeah, no, not leaving in the truck. You were just standing there waiting.
Oh,
by the window. She kept looking out the window, and I had a Mario song playing.
He didn't want me to go.
I didn't want her to go, but I was like, "Dang, you really gonna leave?" I was just like, "Okay." So I videoed it, and I was like, I wanted it for proof that when you try to come back, don't try to come back, because I tried to get you to stay. I even got a video of it, so I wanted you to see how ridiculous you look.
And as you
standing
see,
by the window.
I'm back.
Jesus, she's always back.
But I finally did make up my mind before I gave birth. Probably a couple months before I gave birth, or maybe a month, because I ended up moving away. Like, we moved to another city that was across the water and away from all that. Yeah. And I think he got deployed again because I had to go take my name off the lease of the apartment that we had together, and you drove me there.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So, he ended up getting deployed again. Like, it was back to back. And, so I pretty much made up my mind of what I wanted, and I was kind of done with that. And, I haven't really looked back since. I had my son and I had my babe, and we've been trucking it ever since. So with him, that was it. Then I gave birth to our beautiful baby boy, and all drama broke loose. Because at this point, he is there. I gave birth, and my stepdad tells him...
Oh, yeah, he told me some stuff.
about, because I don't think he knew the extent of everything at that point. Like, he knew we messed around, but I don't think he pieced together that his son might not be his. So, like, they were kind of pressuring you for what, a DNA test and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was just a mess. Like, undeniably, that kid is his. But it was just like seeds of doubt was planted in his head from my mess up. And he did leave me in the hospital by myself for a little while at the hardest time of my life, caring for a newborn as a first-time mom, and heartbroken, and couldn't go nowhere. Like, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, she couldn't pack up and leave that time.
So it was really tough on me, like, mentally.
Yeah.
I really got screwed up from that. Like, I had postpartum depression, like, really bad. Like, I ended up, because right before I gave birth, I moved back in with my mom and my stepdad. And they drove me to the hospital, and we called him, and he came, and it was a mess. So then I ended up going back to their house afterwards, and I think once my mom seen how bad my depression was, I think, and that's when he ended up moving into my parents with me to help me with Jace, because my mom was taking him the first month of his life every night, wasn't she? She was working a full-time job during the day, and every night she was taking him, because she would come in my room at night, and I'm holding this baby on my lap, rocking back and forth on my bed. He's crying, I'm crying. I don't know how to cope with it. I want to rip my hair out of my head. I have vomit all over me from the baby. I mean, I'm looking my worst, feeling my worst. I don't get to see him or have that help or support. And it was awful. It was awful. And my postpartum turned into full-fledged depression and anxiety, and then later in life I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So, I mean, it's been a ride. And he experienced really bad panic attacks in the beginning, right after he found out she ran away with the kids in the middle of the night. Like, you can talk on that.
Yeah, when I found out she took the kids, because, like, I was always, I have 4 other kids, that aren't with her or whatever. And I always been present in all my kids' lives. They live with me, and I always see them or whatever. Even, the one that, my daughter, she didn't live with me. She lived with me like half the week, but not the whole week. And, my son, he was with me. But when the ex took the other 2 and left and went to Florida, I didn't get to see them at all. I didn't know what was going on. And then I started experiencing, like, panic attacks. Like, I would wake up in the middle of the night with a panic attack. And it was like the scariest thing in the world, because I'd never experienced a panic attack. Didn't know what a panic attack was.
He would wake up dead out of his sleep. Like, we'd be in bed, and he's like panting, like gasping for air. And I'm like, baby, what's wrong? And I eventually, like, it came to a point where, like, I kind of snapped him out of it. Like, I would comfort him, and I would tell him, it's okay, we're going to go see them. It's like, they miss you too. Like, I think I helped you through it.
Yeah.
I helped him completely through that, like, being his support and all that. And then it got to the point, like, if I wasn't home or we weren't together in bed together at night, he would have his panic attacks, like, for the kids and for me and for Jace. Like, anytime he was alone, he would have them.
Yeah.
And I think our current situation is really put a test on you for that, because I haven't even asked, have you had any panic attacks, since we don't live together currently.
I've been okay. It's been, it hasn't been easy, but I've been okay. So.
Do you think it's because I am here?
Yeah, I think it's more so because
you feel more secure. You know that you aren't alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
No. I just wanted to ask that on here because, it
Don't
really...
be trying to blindside me like...
It really does make a difference, though, when your significant other does feel secure in the relationship. Safe. Security and safety in a relationship is everything. It's literally make or break. And, for me, my depression, I feel depressed about our situation, but, I've had to come to Jesus meeting recently to where it's like our whole relationship, I'm like my mom. Like, I like to have full control of everyone and everything in my life. I've picked up those traits and habits from her because I've been taught that from a young age. It's like instilled in me. And it took me a long time. I am 31 years old. It took me a long time to realize that I need to just let out of my box. Like, I want to have control of my career. I want to have control over my children, my husband, and all of that. And I can't, because things fall apart when I try to do it on my own and don't have God at the forefront of everything I want to do. Because it's like he's showing me, you need me. Like, nothing in this life is going to come easy for you if you keep being disobedient and doing what you want to do. So we've had a talk about this, yesterday or the night before? And
it was yesterday.
I think it was yesterday, too. Yeah. And it really showed me that I just have to relinquish control over my life. And that's what I've done. I allow him to do what he wants, and I kind of follow his lead on things, like with this podcast. I solely follow his lead. And usually, when it comes to the streaming and stuff, I'm always on the keyboard. I'm always doing this and doing this and doing that. He is running it. And for once, it does feel peaceful. All I have to do is just show up.
Show up and look pretty.
So, I'm learning to not be such a control freak.
That's right. You let me run stuff. Y'all seen that intro? That's me.
Because that's a lot of...
I did that.
That was a lot of our problems, too. Because, I had all the say-so when it came to him. I had all the say-so when it came to doing whatever. Yeah, he could go, well, this is the first time I think ever since he's been a baby that we've been apart in the 8 years of him being alive. Us being apart, going over to daddy's house, and then there's mommy's house. And no, we aren't separated. We are together. It's just we're in a financial situation and jobs and stuff.
We moved. That's another podcast. We moved back from Alabama. And when we moved back from Alabama, it was kind of abruptly because the reason we moved down there was so she could have a relationship with her biological father. We ain't gonna say real dad. We're just gonna say biological father. So she had an opportunity to have a relationship with him. So she wanted to move down there, and we moved down there. Things did not go as planned at all, and it caused strain on us because stuff didn't go right with them, and we moved back. But the way we moved back was not correct because she just left and came back. And it kind of forced me to leave before I should have left. And because I didn't wait, because I should have just stayed down there and waited until everything worked out the way it needed to work out for me to come back. I didn't do that, and I came back because I missed them and I wanted to be with them. So I ended up losing my good job that I had because I left before I should have because I missed my family. So we're just right now navigating that and trying to get everything back right.
And there's way more details in there that y'all need to know, but that is for a later date because, we are really in a storm right now. But after every storm, there's a beautiful rainbow. So we're just trying to see that rainbow, and y'all will hear more about that in future podcasts. But just goes to show, our relationship was really rocky from start. Like, start to now, like, rockiness all the way through. And I think we've both matured and now understand each other on a more deeper level to where we can communicate and navigate these challenges together as a team and a unit. And it feels great, actually, to know that, like, no matter what I face, I have him on my side to, like, help me through it. Because if we aren't on the same page, like, our life would still be the way it was before. And when it comes to his ex, like, mine and her relationship now, like, me and her have been through so much. Like, we can just go through, like, in the past.
We can say that. That's a whole lot.
That's a lot?
That's a lot. So.
Okay. So he wants to save that for another podcast because it's a lot.
It's
So y'all will hear the update on mine and her relationship on a later podcast. So just remember, no matter what challenges you face or anything you're going through, that just lean on your partner fully and vice versa for them to you. Like, y'all can make it through anything. Y'all just have to be on the same page and lift each other up and just guide. Don't demand, but guide, you know? And have God in it. Without God, nothing is possible. Nothing can withstand a storm without God in it. So,
All right, guys. Well, we want to thank you again for tuning in to Hollywood and K, for better or worse, where love, life, and everything in between gets real. If you laugh, learn, or just love the vibes, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it.
follow us on social media to keep up with the conversation. And remember, no matter what life throws your way, you're in it together, for better or worse. Until next time, stay real, stay connected, and stay in love.
Mwah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.